Hello.
Yeah, I can hear you clearly.
Okay.
Can you hear me?
Yes, I can hear you.
Yeah.
We have 11 people waiting. Okay. Let me admit Mustafa.
Yes.
I've admitted him. Okay, Mustafa is here.
You're taking me out.
I'm not taking you out. I can see you. And I'm hearing you.
For me, I can't see you again. I don't know. Let me check.
Hey, check your internet. I'm seeing you.
Okay. Yes, I can. I'm trying to do a full screen now. Yes. Okay. I can see Mustafa. Mustafa, hi.
Hi, Mr. Losa. How are you doing?
Yeah,
I'm
Mustafa.
fine.
How are you?
I'm very well, very well.
Okay, you are the social entrepreneur. That is a wonderful one. that's the first one for me. That's the first one for me. Yes. Yes. I would like to know what that entails later.
All right, yes, I'll definitely do that.
No problem. So can we bring in Chibuke? Chibuke is in the waiting room.
Yeah.
Okay. Undukwe, can you hear us, Undukwe? I can see you. Undukwe, can you hear us?
Yes, I can hear you. Good afternoon.
Yes, good afternoon. Shei, can you hear us? I can see you.
Yes, I can. Good afternoon.
Okay.
Yeah, good afternoon, everyone.
Good afternoon, sir.
Good afternoon, sir.
Yeah. Chibuke is not in yet.
Good news.
Yes, good news is not in yet.
Okay, I think maybe he's having some issue, which is I've admitted him.
Is it roaming from Canada when there's COVID? Like the national, like the NDDC that spent several billions on foreign trips when nobody could travel.
I think
You can imagine the type of country we are.
I can't see him again.
But says in the waiting room.
I admitted him now, but I can't see him again in the list, and he's not here.
I don't know.
Maybe you message him to rejoin or something like that.
Okay, let me send him. So we need to start too.
Yes. Should I admit every other person?
Yeah, let them come in.
Okay.
Let them come in while we still work on Chibuike.
Okay.
Chibuike seems to be in. I think Chibuike is in.
No, I don't think Chibuike is in.
I am in. I just came in now. Can you hear me?
Hello, Chibuike, are you in?
Hello, can you hear me?
Yeah,
Yes.
I can
Okay,
hear
Yes,
you.
can you hear me?
He's in.
I can
hear you.
but I
We
can't
can hear
see
you.
I can't see his picture. I can't see his picture. I can't see his
Can you
picture.
hear me?
I think
Yes,
he turned off his video. He should put on the video.
Please put on your video. We can
Okay,
hear
let
you.
me. Can you see me?
Not yet. We can hear you, but we can't see you.
I've put on my video.
Okay.
Can you check? Can you check why we are not seeing? Okay, I think it's
Okay,
coming
he's
on
in now.
Yes.
He's in.
Yeah, in
Okay,
now.
I think we can start now.
Yes, Chibuike's face doesn't look like somebody that is in COVID Nigeria. I hope when we are telling people about COVID, they won't say we are not being real here. Okay, guys, I think we great meeting you guys. Meeting you anyway, and I think we should start now so that people can join us later. Is that okay?
Good evening.
If it's fine,
That sounds good. Yeah.
if it's fine, just wave your hand so that we can start.
Yeah, I think so.
Okay, so let's bring in people so that because people have been waiting. So have you brought in the people now? Can we start, Nat? You are muted. Can we start?
Before we start, I want to request a recording.
We can
Can
start
I
now.
record?
We can start now.
You said you want to do what?
To record the meeting, is that fine? On my own side here, or we'll get the recording after the meeting.
You will get after the meeting. Don't worry.
All right, all right.
Nat, you are recording, right?
Yes.
Okay, so let's start. Welcome everybody on board. This topic has generated so much interest. Please, can you mute everybody, please? Can you mute everybody? Can you mute?
Okay.
There's still some sound beneath. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. So let me move on. So this topic, interestingly, when we conceived it, we knew that it was really going to be quite interesting, but surprisingly, the turnout for participation has been immense. We've had over 100 people signifying interest to participate, and even more so, some were even seeking to be part of the discussion. It just shows how topical this issue is. Firstly, every business is set up to make profit. So, and you can't make profit if you don't have customers that patronize your products and services. Interestingly, when you look at this issue of being a customer, customers are as varied and are in different layers. Maybe in the 80s and in Nigeria, it was the normal thing to be able to grow your business and be able to get customers. You want to fraternize with social clubs. So you had a lot of social clubs. You had the Lagos, you had the Nikon, you had so many table tennis. So you had all the yacht clubs and all the clubs to ensure that you're able to network. Many of us, we are very close to our alumni. So you always had to attend alumni meetings. You always had to, a lot of business schools and all that stuff. So a lot of parties, even if you didn't want to go to parties, you would go because you wanted to network to be able to get business. But right now, COVID-19 is even making the best of friends to run away from each other. So at the end of the day, the customer dynamics have changed completely. Everything about customer service, has changed because we are not able to see people physically. Also, in about a decade or two, it was the seller's market, which automatically meant that the seller would push to the buyer whatever he felt he wanted to sell. And the buyer was under no option because the economy was very good then. So choices to make discretionary choices were not always the case. So sellers could just, anything could be pushed to the seller by the buyer. But in the recent times now, it's now the sellers, it's now the buyer's market. That is, the buyer determines what he wants to buy, how he wants to buy. And this buyer, who is our customer, has suddenly become very elusive. He was even already elusive before COVID. Now, he has become more elusive in the sense that you can't track him through all the natural physical means that I had mentioned earlier. You now have to find a way of getting to that customer without seeing him physically. Their expectations are as diverse as the trend, as the weather. So it becomes something that is very difficult. The truth is that for some people, it's been so difficult that they say there are no customers. And anytime I hear that there are no customers, I cringe because I have statistics to show that the customers are actually even growing because the world population, according to Wikipedia as of today, stands at 7.8 billion. And we keep shouting that the world is a global village, which means that anybody in Nigeria can do business with anybody in any part of the world. So right now, in the whole of the planet, or the whole of the world, we have about 7.8 billion people you can at least have something to relate with in terms of having a customer. And according to Worldometer 2, the population of Nigeria as of July 2020, which is just this month that is ended, is about 206 million plus. We can never be sure of the population of Nigeria because people are still giving birth as we speak now. So we have a minimum of 206 million people out there. The world internet statistics, basically in terms of internet usage, is about 4.8 billion people are using the internet. They are open to digital technology. You can have access to them by any product or service that you sell. And the basic internet penetration rate is about 62%. And it's still growing, which means that whether you look at the physical consumer or customer, or you look at the digital consumer or customer, the opportunity are immense. However, everybody cannot be your customer, which is where the problem is. No matter how beautiful these statistics look, simple marketing and simple strategy will tell you that it is not everybody that can be your customer. And that's where lies the opportunity. So within that crowd, who is your target audience? Who is your target market? Who is your target customer? How do you want to reach them, knowing fully well that you cannot physically meet them? The man, no man has been reduced to almost nothing. Now you have to find a way around it to be able to get them. And so you have to have a different strategy for acquiring your customers. And yes, this thing started some time before COVID, but really COVID has disrupted every other thing. So right now, there must be a process. So, but clearly, who would you call a customer? A customer is anybody that receives your products and services or has the capacity to receive your products and services and has the opportunity or the discretion to make a choice whether he wants it or not, which means that he might like what you're offering and he might not like what you're offering. He knows what he wants. He's exposed to your product, but how are you placing it before him? Why I'm going through these details is that some people will say, but I'm everywhere, I'm everywhere, I'm everywhere. Your being everywhere is key, but what are your offerings like? Do they matter to this particular target? Then you begin to look at it that while we are looking at the technology side, is that anything you do in terms of customer acquisition strategy has to be very intentional. It doesn't happen by mistake. It's not it's not by whims and caprice. And so when you are looking at customer acquisition, it basically has to do with a process to create a systematic, sustainable strategy. There has to be a process, something that anybody that you expose to that process can also be able to use that to attract and acquire the customer. And it must be in line with new trends. So you can't pour old wine in new skins. Your customer acquisition strategy must be in line with the new trend. The processes that you used last year or 2 years ago to acquire customers would not work at this period. That is why you need to evolve and rethink it. Also, there must be a system. And what would you call a customer experience? A customer experience is the holistic perception of the experience customers have with your brand. The holistic perception in terms of starting from your website, your call cards, your manner of delivery, after sales service, point of sale service. Everything matters in terms of the customer experience. You could get away with selling things to the customer and you don't care if that customer is satisfied or not. But you can't do that at this period because you are not even seeing the customer and you are servicing the customer. And if the customer finds that your product and service is not satisfactory, he doesn't even have to have any interaction with you before disassociating completely from you. So there's no room to beg. There's no room for paddy-paddy. So through the line, from the time you begin to determine who your customer is, through the process of acquiring that customer, and actually the process of completely the delivery and satisfaction and the perception and the branding of your services and goods, everything matters in this process. In between is the ability to retain that customer. So you begin to see that there's a science to it. But most times what we do in Nigeria is that we wave all those things in between and we still get away with it. But right now, the cheese has moved. Whoever must play in this market must smell the cheese, must smell the coffee, and must be able to go along with the new trends. That there has to be a rethinking process. It must be intentional. There are dynamics to it. There are techniques to it. There are principles to it. At the end of the day, each of us must be able to give our customers a wow experience. That experience doesn't just satisfy the customer, but turns that customer into an ambassador. The customer begins to advocate for your brand. They begin to advocate for your service for other people that have not even had any contact with you. And that is why it is important that we take our discussion in the next few minutes very, very serious. My own philosophy is that as we go through this process, please unlearn what you have learned. Everything that you have learned before now, unlearn it. Then begin to learn new things, because nobody predicted that we are going to be home for 4 months without having to meet each other or having interaction, but here we are now. And so we have a complete team here of people who have practiced within this period, and they've done a lot on the customer side. Like I said, we are all customers. We are all people that have services to render to one another, and we also have services to take from people. So we are all in the same boat, but let's keep an open mind as we proceed. Well, I would like to stop here so that we can move a bit faster. The first discussant we are going to have is my friend, whom I am told is a social entrepreneur. He's a tech enthusiast, and he sits on the board of several companies. He's popularly called Mosty, and he's the founder of 21st Century. Can you hear me?
I can hear you, sir.
Yes, so he's the founder of 21st Century Infotech Versa. He's a man of many parts. So he's going to be talking to us. He's also the founder of Quorum Interactive. So, Mustafa, how are you doing today?
Very well, Mr. Nosa. How are you doing?
Okay, so it's great meeting you.
Great.
So the questions are going to come in, you have maybe like multifold, but basically, we want you to share with us how this COVID had impacted on your business. Our focus is mainly going to be on the technology side of the business strategy, especially in terms of customer acquisition. Yes, and how have you maintained your relationship with your existing clients? How have you been able to acquire new clients using technology? And how has technology made your business, how has it impacted on your business model now? And how do you think it's going to make you end up in blue, that is profitable, not in red, by the end of the year?
Anyway, hi everyone. Thank you for logging in. Thank you, Mr. Nosat, for this platform for us to be able to share ideas and see how we can all help each other. As you know, my name is, everyone calls me Musti, so you're all free to call me Musti. Social entrepreneur. Mr. Nosat, you said you wanted to know what that was.
Yes.
Okay, so I'm someone that believes in starting up businesses that will impact the people around me, the country at large at the end of the day, making sure the youths that are supposed to be the future of tomorrow are actually the future of tomorrow. So that's one, and people have decided to call it a social entrepreneur, so we'll leave it at that.
Yes.
So how has COVID affected business for us? In a lot of ways. Interestingly enough, at February 28th, I had to have a knee surgery. And after the knee surgery, as I was trying to heal up, we got into a lockdown mode. As it says on my profile, I run a couple of companies. 21st Century is a full IT company. Quorum Interactive, which is a digital advertising agency. Versa is an investment alternative investment company. And at that time, Vesa just acquired almost 75 hectares of farmland outside of Ilorin. So, and this is a technology-driven company. All of these companies are technology-driven. So you can imagine us having to be shut down for a period without even being able to prepare for that. So first thing first, I will say here is one thing Mr. Nosa mentioned: relationships. Relationships. So people take the new digital and throw away the traditional. I believe that for you to have the best of business, even at this time, critically at this time, it is a marrying both together that you can talk about customer acquisition and all of that. Now, if before now you've had clients that you've not satisfied customer satisfaction, having to acquire new clients is going to be a bit tough for you during this period, because really and truly the clients might be there, but as we know, in most parts of the world, word of mouth referrals, word of mouth actualizations from people that know you go a long way. For instance, let me start with, I started with Versa at the farms. For 2 weeks we were on lockdown and we had just planted a field full of tomatoes that need tendering to. We had to look at all of the resources that we had around us to try to salvage this. We started calling some clients who knew people in the Ministry of Agric and Man. They got on the phone and got us exemptions that made us able to move around. I wasn't able to move, but thank God for good staffing that went all the way to Ilorin to make sure that things were going on there concurrently. 21st Century, we had 3 projects running. 21st Century is majorly into the hospitality industry. We have 3 hotel buildings currently going up that we deliver ICT to. Now in that area, we had to shut down. You know how Lagos State was with the sites and everything. But one of the quick things we also had to do was rethink. Like you said, you need to quickly relearn and adapt to a situation. What did we do in that case as well? We were able to quickly take up housing close to these sites. Some of them were provided by the owners of this project. Some of them we had to find a way around getting, so that our staffers who were tested before they went in, and we made sure that food and everything was available to them, they didn't have to come out. All they just have to do is move from where they are to the site. So invariably, we solved the little problem there as well of moving around. For Quorum Interactive, that was the most impacted business that I was involved with at that time. At that point in time, I don't know whether you know a company called Daktronics. They're one of the world leading advertising companies when it comes to outside LED media. We had gone into an interaction with them, and we were about acquiring some billboards to be put at different areas of Lagos to push products out there. But obviously, you know what COVID has done to that part of marketing now. Outdoor advertising has taken a huge hit, you know, as at this point in time that we're talking. So yes, in that area and more, COVID impacted us, but in some areas we were able to quickly react, relearn, and respond adequately. In some other areas, we're still trying to get that there. I hope that's answered that question, sir.
Yes, you did quite well. But one of the things I would have I want you to look at is that I want you to look at within the spectrum of the your operations. Which do you have any proprietary products, that proprietary technology that you use? One, or if there are none, are there any that you've been able to adapt to your operations that people can at least just jump on?
Okay, so one of the first things that we had to use during this period was a lot of Zoom calls over video conferencing to be able to address issues and see what was happening personally. That was in terms of communicating, because apart from dealing with staffers, dealing with clients, now I think more than ever, I think interactions, the fundamental truth is that customers will need timely communications. that are focused on their needs and are delivered through several channels. So one of the channels that we chose was Zoom to meet up with clients to address these issues. So for one of the projects, we were able to do weekly meetings with the client to give them updates. That reduced, well, the client's anxiety over some certain things. As you know, most of the clients are moving around at this time since, you know, COVID came into play. So apart from Zoom, we also had to bring in tools like, I don't know whether anyone would know this, it's a digital product called D-Tools. D-Tools is used in our industry to manage drawings, manage quotations, manage interactions within a project, and to also manage a project. So those tools came in very handy. In terms of, for Quorum Interactive, for instance, we had to also, how would I put it? We had to buy a product, I can't remember the name of that product now, which helped us bring together, how would I say, all of the client's accounts in one place for us to be able to manage it digitally better. Okay. And at the same time, looking at how it was being delivered, at the same time trying to make sure that it was deliberate and that the channels that we're using in communicating were proper.
Okay, so basically, I don't know, basically what you've done is one to ensure that the technology enabled you to be proactive. Exactly. in the sense that you made technology available such that beyond Zoom you had some other bespoke technology to ensure that the client was never running after you. You were still able to be visible. You were still able to have weekly meetings. You understand all the templates that you normally had when you had the physical opportunity. You still maintained all using technology. Exactly. In that way, there was really no gap. So the fact that you were not physically able to drive 4 hours over 3rd Mainland Bridge did not stop you from still having the regular meetings, doing all the necessary paperwork, and also being able to deliver on your promise. So what it means essentially is that your client did not really see whether there was COVID or not in terms of your operation.
Exactly, the gap was closed.
Operation, yes, that was closed.
Yes.
So brilliant. So can we, is Benga online? Can we have Benga, please?
Benga is here.
Benga, yes. Can you unmute Benga? Let Benga tell us. He's the one that is in doing some stuff for Quorum. So let him tell us.
Benga is a co-founder with Quorum and is the managing director there.
Okay, so Benga, can you Nat, can you let us see Benga or can Benga?
Benga, Olubenga Eti Williams.
Where is Benga? Can we see Benga, please? Can you locate him? Hello. Benga, can you unmute? Yeah, okay, Benga.
Yes, sir.
So what Quorum? Can you hear Quorum Interactive? So what are the technologies you use to direct your businesses, especially with regards to client acquisition? And
so
briefly, please, briefly.
Basically, what we try to do this period is to ensure that we deliver excellent service to the clients that we currently have. So we've been using a lot of listening tools to, see what people are saying about the industry, the client, and also trying to figure out how to salvage the situation. For instance, we run social media management for a couple of restaurants, and you understand that this period everybody is sitting in, everything is takeout, so we've been able to use the listening tool to understand how to communicate better with their target audience and such things like that. And we've also thought about using geographic targeting. Before we were always doing Lagos, all of that, these targets. Now target areas that are specific. So if the clients restaurants is in VI. All our targeting does not go beyond VI and Ikoyi. So we've been seeing a lot of impact from there. There's been a lot of engagement. There's been a lot of increase in followership and such. So basically, I would say at this point, we rely on a lot of listening tools just to understand what people want.
Okay. Okay, so what you are saying in effect is that COVID has been, what you are doing with technology now is that one size does not fit all. Yeah. So you don't have a situation whereby you just throw it out there and say whoever grabs it, grabs it. Now you are using technology to be bespoke. You are using technology to be demographically compliant. Things that have to do with specifics. So if you have a client that says, I want to talk to XYZ, you go into the brass tag and use technology to delineate. So that, and you're also able to thrive on locations. So for example, if you can use technology to tell me that I can talk to people in Victoria Island alone and I don't have to waste my money. So technology is enabling you to do that now.
Yes, you're correct.
Okay, so yeah. Okay, so thank you so much. We've been able to see from your stable that tech is helping you. We need to move to quickly. So thanks so much. We will just Sukomi, I want you to wait behind for some time. There's somebody going to come on that would help you with one or two things concerning the billboard stuff. Do you understand? So just hang on. There are some of my partners from Atlanta who want to react to that. Do you understand? So just hang on. Just hang on. So let's go on to Chibuike. Chibuike is a man of many parts. He is an entrepreneur. He is in fact, his number one is the tech solution provider. Big words like programmatic advertising. He has a lot of things to do with data mining. He runs Dutchess Ads Limited. So Chibuike, are you here with us? Chibuike?
Yes, I can hear you.
Okay, so Chibuike, you have the floor for the next 5 minutes. Run us through typically. If I were a client and I approach you, or you're able to locate me somewhere and you want to let me know that you have enough technology to give me concise deliverables with a very shoestring budget. A shoestring budget. You know what a shoestring budget is? You know a shoestring is very small. So I have a shoestring budget and I have specifics. I want you to show me through technology that my money is not wasted. So how do you do that?
Okay, can you hear me? Yeah, just as I said, my name is Chibuike and I lead the team at Dutchess. Dutchess is first a technology company that builds the platforms for agencies and marketers to identify their audience using data, identify where those audiences are, and then push adverts to those people. And in this new world, thanks to COVID or no thanks to COVID, a lot of things have changed, but it's not as if those things are totally new. But COVID has just brought us probably 5 years ahead. So some of the things that are happening now are things that were supposed to happen in 5 years' time, or things that are supposed to happen in 10 years' time. So I remember last year I went for a conference in Germany, and I had to go there physically. I had to book a hotel, and I had to, interact after that conference. But this year, that same conference was not canceled, but that conference was done over Zoom. Did we participate in the conference? Yes. Did we have more people in it? Yes. And did we achieve the same? You can say we did. So probably people would have said that will not happen, but unfortunately it is happening. Now, how we achieve these things is because technology has made these things available. And data has become like the new oil. And if you are, just like your question said, if you are having a shoestring budget, and you know, let's say you're an eatery, a fast food eatery, and you know that right now, people are not walking to the restaurant anymore, and your income has reduced, but you still have to run business. You still have to do your things. So you have option of delivery. Now, how do you get these customers? Now, there are tools or there are services that could enable you to say, okay, let me identify who these customers are, who my customers are, and then am I enabled to share screen? I can see it's not enabled.
You need to do quickly because you have less than 3 more minutes. So if that would don't.
Okay. So one of the key things is quickly to identify your target audience, and you need to build those target audience using tools that employs things like cookies, data, browsing history, device IDs, locations of those people, and those things together can tell you actually how many people fall within that customers that you want to target. Then after that, you can now say, okay, where are these customers? Now, you do not decide where the customers are going to be, but in a country like Nigeria, I would have loved to share my screen so I can show some data. Can you enable the screen share?
Okay, now, Nathaniel, can you do that?
With that?
Nathaniel, hello, Nat. Go on, I'll talk to you. Go on. Go on, Chief,
okay.
I'll talk to you.
So with those things, let's say you really will not have to go offline to look for these people, but you need to go online to look for them and enable them to see your product and connect with it. We also need to know how many people are on this demography of my customer base. Before you just out of the blue estimate, okay, there are 20 million people in Lagos. Okay, let's say half of them are my customers, but you're dead wrong. With data right now, you can estimate, okay, I want people that are between the ages of 18 to 25 or 18 to 30, and you can get actual number of people that are online within those age brackets. And if you drill down to those that are using Android or iOS phone altogether, you can actually get people within that demography. And then you can now say, okay, those that are in Lekki, you get that demography. So with that, you can say, okay, if my restaurant is in a place like Lekki Phase 1 and my reachable environment is around that area, it can pinpoint, okay, we probably have 4.5 million people within that place. And those people are using mobile phones. Like Nigeria will have about 91% of people that are using mobile phones. And okay, since I'm not able to share screen, let me just do a rough listing of that. Now, if you drill down there, you now understand, okay, where are these people? Are they on Facebook? Are they on Google Properties? Are they on Punch? Are they on Linda? Are they on what sites do they visit? Now, first of all, you will now do a budget, and how much will it take me to get to these people? You have a number one, which is the number of reach. Then two, you have a rough estimate of the places that they are. Then number three, you now need a technology that will be able to push your, and that's a technology we'll call demand side platform. Fortunately, Duchess runs one of the major demand side platforms in Nigeria. Now, it connects all those platforms, social media, it connects Google, it connects direct sites, and then you plan your adverts on that, and then you push it out. Once you push it out, be mindful of what those customers see. So the first thing they see, they don't care about those technology that you have used, but they care about the image that has come out, the banner you have used, the videos you have used, the audiences and the narratives. Now you have a wide array of things that those customers should see. They should see a banner that tells about your product. They should see a short video inside apps that talk about your product. They should see native ads, advertising that looks like stories, but practically is an advert. Now, this is a junction between PR and advertising. So you write a fantastic story about your product and put it out like the news, and people see it, and they see it as a native ad, and they read more about it. It has even 3 times better conversion than normal banner ad. And after that,
hello, Chibuke.
You now measure.
Hello, Chibuke. You have 1 more minute, but if you send that document to me, I would ensure that by the time you come back, we would have an opportunity for you to run through it. You understand what I'm saying?
Okay.
Yeah, but just
Yes.
for 1 minute, just summarize. Go ahead, just summarize so that we'll give you another opportunity after to share that document. Go on.
Now, so after you have pushed that, there are first people that will react to that. Those people will land on your website. Then later on, there are algorithms that will go back to tell these people that, okay, you were on this website on this day. It starts showing them your ad. And those ads keep coming up to them. It's a reminder. So it helps you to save money instead of running a whole ad that you just be running to everybody that is not necessarily your customer. But you identify those are your customers, run first phase, then second phase of keep on reminding them. And then that's what we call retargeting. Now that retargeting keeps reminding those people for the next 30 days that your restaurant is doing ordering system. Now you need to understand that things have changed, customers have changed also. People have very short lives, very short attention span. So if your marketing project is not able to communicate in a very short time, whatever it is going to be, then you lose them. So you need to be strategic in terms of what you deliver in that short time and hit the point. And then the subconscious mind makes the final decision.
Okay, so Chibuke, thanks so much. So what you are saying in effect now is that we need to be as detailed as possible in terms of using technology to be able to address particular focus areas, and that you have
Yes.
the technology and the algorithm too that is able to distill all that and ensure that you, I mean, interesting for me is your technology that is able to marry PR with core advertising. That means you can actually generate a conversation around the brand. So when you come back later, we want to share one or two. We want you to share 1 or 2 wow experience with us, with some of your customers, so that we begin to see, look at it from the customer experience perspective. Is that okay? So we'll get you back later.
Yes, that's fine.
Okay, so we will just go on to the third discussant now. Nathaniel Atansui. Nathaniel Atansui is a PhD holder in information technology. He's the MD of Data Plus, and he's a man of many parts. So, Nathaniel, please just run through your stuff with special focus on technology.
Yeah, good afternoon, everyone. I'm glad to be here. My name is Nathaniel Atansui, and what I do is IT, providing IT and digital solutions. I'm the managing consultant of Data Plus Global Services. Today we're talking about rethinking customer acquisition and customer experience in a post-COVID era. In a post-COVID era, and using a technology-driven approach. Now, what has happened is that in recent times, the COVID has given the opportunity for more and more people to come online. That is what we've experienced. So the internet has been able to add more and more small businesses to come online. And what does that mean to you? Let's look at these statistics. The world population is about 7.8 billion. When you look at Africa now, the internet users in Africa is about almost 600 million people. And what does this tell you? It tells you that globally, you have about 4.8 billion people that are internet users. So that means you as an entrepreneur, you have about 4.8 billion customers. So the issue now is, how do you now reach these customers? What number of people do you want to employ? Can you do it all alone? Can it be manually done? So later, I'm going to introduce a technology to you that makes your interaction response time to your customer needs very quick and fast, and at the satisfying your customers. Now, if you look at Nigeria specifically, we have an estimated population of about 206 million people, out of which about 126 million people are actually on the internet. So that means even within the space of Nigeria, you already have a probable number of 126 million customers. So how do you reach these people? How do you acquire them? How do you retain them? If you look at online marketing activity, technology, and strategy, you need to understand, the first thing you need to do is you need to understand the evolution of information architecture. Information architecture categories are: one, discovery pattern. You know, how do you discover your customers? At least you need to discover your customers before you can acquire them. So you need to understand this architecture. Then, spoken alternative to text. Is it about voice to text program that are lacking or something? Then you also talk about the augmented reality. And this augmented reality is also gaining popularity. You talk about attention economy, that is improved approaches to information architecture that will allow designer and developer to employ tools to really keep your visitor in one place for a prolonged time. So these are the information architecture that you need to understand in order for you to be able to acquire your customers out of these 4.8 billion people globally. Now, the next thing you now need to do is you have to develop a watertight online marketing strategy. So the first thing is that solid marketing funnel. The awareness, the interest, decision, and action. That is the basic marketing funnel. That is, your customer needs to have that awareness about your product and services.
Hello, Nathaniel.
Yes,
yes, we will definitely, yes, just talk to, but let's go straight to the technology. Okay. So that we will share all this with them, because yes, we can see the marketing direction. But let's go to the technology that is for consumer.
Yeah, the technology here is Freshworks. Freshworks is a customer relationship management with a lot of products, and it lay with emphasis on artificial intelligence. So because it has artificial intelligence, so it's able to do a lot of things, and a lot of tasks are being able to be automated. Now, what is Freshworks does? Because like I said earlier, you have about probable 4.8 billion people. You need tools. So what we're saying is that this Freshworks customer relationship tools is able to help you It's going to empower your organization, and you can drive more personalized and unified solution no matter wherever your customers are located. And we're not just introducing this Freshwork. Freshwork has this from Gartner in 2020, that is being the only visionary CRM organization. So when you look at the various product offerings which you can use, you can look at it and know the one that really satisfy your need. So from these various product offerings, the one that is I will be talking about because of timing is this Freddy AI for customer experience. You know what makes Freddy AI is one of the unique selling points of this Freshwork is that you know there are some things that needs to be attended to by customer, because I'm sure a lot of us are used to all these chatbots that respond to your query from the website and all this stuff. But you know, the Freddy AI had gone a step ahead in this customer experience. It leverages on Google artificial intelligence technology and Google Assistance. So this helps you to resolve issues more effectively and efficiently through a mix of human and machine-based voice interaction. So your client will not even know, because everything is being designed and programmed in such a way that it offers these services seamlessly. And you also have this omnibot technology also. It makes life, you know, there's even a limit to what this artificial intelligence in this CRM will do for you. There's a limit. So at the AI, this Freddy gets to its limit. It's able to know that he now needs to transfer the issues to a human being who is going to take over.
Hello, just round up. Just round up. 1 month, 1 second, just round up so that we'll share it with them. They can always meet with you.
So, yeah, so the unique, like I said, the unique, one thing that is unique about this Freshwork software is the way that they've taken the tax away from you. So it makes you and your organization to be able to concentrate more on improved products and services. Thank you.
Okay. Yeah. Thank you. So what you are saying is that the technology you have, in the midst of several technologies that are available for customer acquisition and experience, the Freddy AI seems to be attractive for the Nigerian market, essentially because it plays a major role in business intelligence, in the sense that at the end of the day, it's able to do almost every other thing a human being can do with their intelligence, whereby at the end of the day, the customer experiences full satisfaction in using that technology. We'll get back to you, just hang around, there'll still be time to discuss more. I would like to call on Joey. I would like to call on Joey, but before Joey is going to tell us some stuff about the billboards I spoke to Mustafa about earlier. But let's first okay, let's take Joey. After we take Joey, we will take Onoha Undukwe, then we'll take my brother and my friend Sheyi. So let's take Joey, are you there?
I am. Can you hear me?
Yes, Joey.
Wonderful. Well, thank you so much.
How's Atlanta?
It's wonderful. It's a beautiful day out. We're just blessed to be alive and feeling well. And I want to thank you. I feel very honored to be in the midst of such brilliant marketing and advertising minds. And I'll get right to it. Basically, Board Active's proprietary technology software enables you to reach the 6 million plus people in Nigeria. with hyper-targeted, focused, personalized push notifications that come right to their phone. This is amazing for any categorical vertical, including out of home, right? Everybody always has their phone with them. They may not necessarily be behind their desktop to answer emails or be looking up perhaps at a piece of out-of-home signage. But what our technology allows you to do is bring that piece of out-of-home signage right down to their mobile device. And it's more than just a picture and a headline and a message, right? It goes deep. It goes deep into an enriched engagement experience. You know, you could make a phone call to a particular, you know, brick and mortar store, an office, whatever the relevant target number is. Also, we give you the ability to connect with your customers and have them connect back to your brand via email. But again, it goes deeper than that too, because we can provide directions in real time using Google's API so that they can find a location right from where they are. And of course, you know, we talk about integrative technologies. It's not just about mobile. It's also leveraging other pieces of the interactive experience, like links to your landing pages. Also social media feeds. This is a great way to amplify other campaigns with other media within your campaign, right? So basically what BoardActive provides is killing many birds with one stone in your marketing tech campaign. And we talked about the cost, right? The shoestring budget. And I would offer this suggestion. It's times like these, especially uncertain times like these, when brands cannot afford to lose more customers. So I would never want to cut off my nose to spite my face. So investing in leveraging mobile technology, especially now, is the best way to not only regain trust and the purchase behaviors and habits of your targeted segments, but also to build new ones. We talk a lot about customer acquisition, defining that target audience. And mobile marketing, of course, is the best way to target it, especially with our platform. And of course,
okay. Okay, Joey, how would you reconcile Mustafa is trying to bring in so many billboard technologies, I mean, Dantronics and all that stuff, and
sure,
a lot of it. So how do you interact? I mean, because he's going to be. We'll get back to you on that. How is it? Because we need to tie up all this, so many technology flying up and down. So we need to be able to tie it up. How your technology would be able to align with Mustafa's billboards and stuff, because he's bringing in billboards. You understand? So
absolutely.
How would Mustafa tie? How would you want to tie that?
Sure.
Can you just tell us?
Yes, sir. Absolutely. So, Musti, this is for you. So if we're looking at an out-of-home campaign, you know, we can create geofences of any size and any shape. You can see behind me, here's one of our polygon fences. This could be an area of interstate or the actual signage itself, out-of-home, storefront, street furniture, bus stops, train stations, anywhere that you find relevant to target and then drive them to another behavior, whether that's directions to an actual brick and mortar location. It could be a link to a landing page, social media feeds, rich media like YouTube, Vimeo, et cetera, et cetera. And again, by leveraging geolocation, you can determine what they do after they get this push notification here. Do they go to the desired location? If they go, how long do they stay there? What do they do when they're there? Do they spend any money? What did they buy? And then we can leverage that information for down the line future campaigns to really provide that personalized experience.
Definitely. So I'm sure with this conversation we'll go beyond this. Thanks so much, Joey. My regards to Mohammed and the team there. Okay, so we'll move on straight to Ndukwe, the fourth discussant. Ndukwe, it's an ad man. He's a veteran. He's an award-winning creative director, and he works with 7 Interactive. So Ndukwe, you have the floor. Hello? Ndukwe, can you hear us? Hello, Ndukwe, are you still there? Hello? Hello, Ndukwe, can you hear us? Okay. While we wait for Ndukwe, is Sheyi with us?
Yeah, I wasn't allowed to unmute myself. That has just happened now.
Okay,
Hi.
so Undupe, so you are here.
Yes, I am.
So I want you to
Hello?
tell us, I can hear you. I want you to tell us how technology has enabled you as a creative director of an award-winning agency, marketing company. How have you been able to use technology to win new businesses, specifically win new businesses, acquire new clients, and how you've been servicing those clients using technology, knowing fully well that COVID does not enable us to do a lot of movement up and down?
Oh, thank you very much. So the thing is, unlike the other amazing guys here, ours isn't necessarily would have a proprietary tool, as it were, in terms of technology and what we do. But what we do is to create stories for our clients, using the tools that you and others on this platform provide, and that is that's our main area of expertise. But what you will also know is that while COVID might have forced all of us to stay at home, to sit at home, what and our behaviors would have changed. What hasn't changed, for our target audience is their needs, is their wants, So they might now have to cope with different ways of fulfilling those needs or having them met, but they do not change. Now, what it then means is that it behoves on us as admin, especially as 7 Interactive, to listen, using, of course, like the tools that you provide, to listen intently to our target audience, to understand what these new behaviors are, then tell stories accordingly that fit into this pattern. So I will give you an example. When, in the first 2 weeks of the lockdown, it seemed that everyone suddenly went on Instagram Live, and of course this was kicked off initially by Tory Lanez and his, promoting his album, and then it just went crazy from then on. We asked ourselves how we could look at this new meeting forum and how we could then use it to tell our brand stories and to continue to communicate with our target audience. So what we did for one of our brands was to have, we have a brand called Hero. It's one of the biggest beer brands out of Nigeria, especially in the Southeast. So what we did was to create the Heroes Roundtable, which is a place for having discussions around things topics that center around the lives of our target audience. But we didn't just stop at having these discussions. We also would look for a way to plug in, into people having to make purchases and show that they have purchases. So in this way, we're able to just continue telling this brand story, but encourage people to make more purchases. And then for other brands, we also started having, we increased our rate and diversity of digital engagement. Because remember, everyone is at home, everyone is looking at their phone, and so that means the first thing you need to do is to continue listening. So basically we put down our pens, a lot more, and picked up our phones, because you can't talk to someone if you don't understand what they are, listening to, how they are interacting. So the first thing we did was to, on our own, to get more involved in the digital space, in terms of in the social space. So we spoke less and listened more, and then we turned everyday stories, that we found online, into brand stories for our clients. So that is one way we've used the existing technology to further the reach of our clients, especially interacting with their target audience. And that's what we've been doing, really. You need to use what you have to get where where you need to, and then to continue to evolve as situations do.
Okay, thank you so much. So we will get back to you, but we want you to share a typical experience that your client was very excited about. In terms of, Mustafa talked about closing the gap. You also mentioned that you use existing tools to be able to get across to your client. So there will still be need for one more word for us to kind of feel an experience with one of your clients. Thank you so much. So we will move to Shay. Shay, are you there? Hello? Can you unmute Shay, please? Can you unmute Shay? Shay, are you there? Shay?
Okay. Yeah. Hello. Good afternoon.
Yeah, good afternoon. We've had several discussions. There's noise somewhere. There's noise. Can you hear me?
Yes, I can hear you. Yeah.
Okay, so Shay is the CEO of PetCreep, and he has a community and marketplace platform. Shay is the project management expert. He's a business development expert. He's also into public relations and business strategy. And he has been able to work with a lot of clients, both in Nigeria and the diaspora. Shay, I'm particularly interested in your community and marketplace platform as one for customer engagement and customer retention and customer experience. Can you share with us along that line?
All right. Thank you very much for having me. And I can only appreciate everybody that has talked before me now, because they've shed a lot of light. I'm in a very unique space, being an entrepreneur and trying to change the perception of how people actually reach their customers. And that is what actually gave birth to PetCreep. So PetCreep is a platform as a service that allows you to have direct access to services within that space. And by services, I mean your veterinarians or your pet shops, your breeders, and every other service that has to do with your pet. And so what we were trying to do all along, even pre-COVID, was trying to tell people that, look, you can't always be not online. You have to always be online. And if there's one way to be online, is that you have to have a marketing budget. But one of the largest budgets to ever have is that marketing budget, and it's not easy. And that is where we come in. And so we are saying that just come on our platform. It is free. When you come on our platform, any other client or any other customer that needs your service will be able to find you at the nearest possible time. So you don't have to you don't have to always travel out of town. You don't have to always travel to go and offer services. Services are all around you. And so let me just expand on that. I can only think of Uber. So Uber, for instance, before Uber, everybody, you have to get on the road. You have to get to the bus stop and go and get transportation. For Uber, changed all of that. It changed customer experience altogether. And so, and that is the kind of model that we are coming after. We see that, you know what, you can have whatever service that you need at whatever time that you need them at the shortest possible distance. And that is where our own technology comes into place. And that's what PetCreep is all about. Now, it's interesting because I've also had time during the COVID period to also consult for a lot of businesses that are trying to get online. You know, there's a lot of frenzy about, oh, I have to get online. But I tell people, develop your sales process first, understand your customer. Then you'll be able to decipher the kind of technology that will fit in to what your customers need. You can't be on Instagram when your customers are on Facebook. You can't spend money on WhatsApp when your customers are on NairaLand. So what we are trying to do is that we're trying to aggregate, and I think I'm a very huge advocate of aggregation. Aggregate things that work together. Some people have aggregated farming, like Farm Crowdy has done, and they're trying to do elsewhere. So people have aggregated other products, and we are now trying to aggregate the pet product. So those services through technology is able to have, customers are able to have better experience. They are able to have better performance. They are able to, you yourself, you are able to give you're able to give the best service to your customers at the minimum shoestring budget that NOSAK was talking about. So that's exactly what we're trying to do. Thank you.
Okay, thanks so much. That has been wonderful. I would just like to make a recap. After the recap, we will encourage everybody to just give us like one more minute as to maybe one or two things they did not. For me, what I've been able to get from all the presentations basically is that technology is needed at this time in terms of customer, client, or customer supplier relationships, in terms of being able to do specific targeting, so much so we can extend it to geo-targeting. I mean, bringing products and services to the convenience of customers, which is very key. I mean, now you see a lot of logistics companies running up and down because everybody go out again. So, but you guys are using technology to also bring in that convenience. I mean, it fosters a lot of interaction. So there's no gap, really. Technology has bridged all the necessary gap. There's information flow. There is data, data availability, data usage. A lot of business intelligence is going on from what Chibuike said. A lot of business intelligence has to go into the planning process in terms of being able to ensure that money spent is spent judiciously. So which means that it's not about throwing money down the drain, or it's not about just throwing money to any activity. It's about being sure that you are getting value. So technology is able to bring value to the table. Nathaniel has quite clearly stated that with the tools that are available in terms of customer engagement, definitely we can almost transfer the human brain to the Freddy technology. The only thing is that it's not human, but at least it can almost do everything a human being would want when interacting with the potential customer. And in places where that goes beyond it, it also has the capacity of transitioning to a real human client service person. So at the end of the day, there's really no gap. So technology ensures that there's no downtime, there's no gap. Everything goes on seamlessly. And Chei is a strong advocate of using technology to aggregate, which means that you are part of a loop, you are part of a system. You are not standing on your own, and such information can be shared within the community. And that basically sums up what we've been able to get. So, but I'll just start from just maybe like two minutes in case there are one or two things that we did not quite clearly articulate from every other person, so that we look more in terms of how these things have actually found out in terms of your experience with customers. How have they really, what is the impact on customers? How have they translated to some meaningful business for you? So if we can start with Musti, if he's still the social entrepreneur. Is Musti there? Hello? Is Musti still there?
Yes, I'm here.
Okay, so did you get my question? I'm saying that let's look at having gone through this period, having heard what every other person has said, maybe one or two things you also want to add that you did not add, especially in terms of customer experience.
Okay, in terms of customer experience, one of the steps that I know that we took and that gave us impact, I'd like to share that really quickly. Is one, to understand the urgency of the now. COVID-19 is here, the impacts are being felt. Your communication with the client, how are you taking it? How are you delivering? Are you being proactive? Are you being real time with your client? Are your solutions empathic? Are they solutions that oriented at the business, and your messages are not being intrusive. Number two, I think now more than ever, segmentation should be a criteria. When I mean segmentation, when it comes to digital communications, you need to segment your audience. It needs to be the right audience you're talking to. So in this time and case, I would say do one-on-one communication with people in as much as you share information. And then three, which I think really helped us as well, is we decided to change the channel in which we reach customers. The channels in which we reach customers. So it wasn't just, we weren't just waiting on social media alone. We did the traditional, we put calls across. Obviously, we use the CRM in managing all of that. The CRM we use here is called Trello. We integrate that with Odoo to reach our clients. And that has really helped impact on the clients that we had before and the newer clients that we've been able to get over this period of time. So yes, that's been what we've been able to do that made some impact. I hope it can help some of you else.
Yes. Thanks so much. So now segmentation and all those things begin to matter now. Yeah, thanks so much. Let me just mention this before we go to Chibuike. A lot of technology here, a lot of technology there. I'm wondering, especially if, because with customer engagement, customer relationship, a lot of innovation and every other thing comes on. And I'm wondering if you guys are clearly identifying or very clear with the ownership of the intellectual property of the tools that you are either using or you are exposed to. Because at the end of the day, I mean, it can really mess up a lot of things. So if it's the ones you have involved yourself, how are you able to clearly own it? If it's the one that you are borrowing or you are using from other people, how are you able to tidy up the intellectual property in terms of usage and in terms of ownership? Are you likely to acquire patents? What are the copyright issues, the trademark issues, confidentiality issues, the trade secrets? All those things that have to do with confidentiality with your employees and exit levels and a lot of other things that you have to do with these proprietary products. You need to, with all this IT and all this technology you are using, part of, because it will be very nasty for a client to be written that you are using, for example, the person that has an intellectual property in a particular software writes a client that his intellectual property is being used, and you don't have a clear-cut direction as to who owns what. It could be very embarrassing. It could spoil whatever experience you've been trying to create. It could spoil whatever relationship you have with your client. So I'm just putting it on the table that you guys need to be very clear as to the ownership and the usage of all the tools that you for your tech. We can take this further outside this place, but let's just leave it at that you need to tidy up the intellectual property. Can we go to Chibuike? Chibuike, can you share with us, please? Hello, Chibuike. Yeah, Chibuike, can you share with us? Are you on? Hello? Is Chibuike still on? Okay, maybe while we wait for Chibuike. So, Nathaniel, can you share with us in 1 or 2 minutes while we wait for Chibuike? Anything we've left out?
Yes, thank you. What I will want to share here, I would like to talk more about the products, because like I said, the Freshwork has got a lot of products. It's a complete suite for customer relationship management. Here you have the fresh desk. What does this one do? It empowers your support team to work together and resolve customer issues faster. Then you have the fresh sales. This one keep your sales team in the know about prospects and close deals faster. So it's not about you manually having to look for these people online. Then you have the fresh service. This one streamline your IT service and manage internal requests from your employee. You have the fresh chat. It engages with website visitors and product users for sales and customer success. Then you have the fresh marketer. This is an intelligent market automation to acquire, engage, and retain your customer. So these are the tools. You have the fresh caller. This one is reimagining your cloud-based phone system for business of all sizes across more than 90 countries. Then you have the fresh team. This one recruits and onboard top talent, manage all employee data and time off in one place. You have the fresh release, modern project management software for teams to plan, track, and collaborate. You have the fresh connect. This one enables your team partners and agents to collaborate with full context. Then you have the fresh ping. This one monitor your website availability. So get that alert and status pages in case your website is not available. Then you have the fresh status. This one set up your hosted public status page in one click. Then you have the fresh success. This one prevents churn, increase account expansion, and strengthen customer relationship. So this is a complete package, and it's not compulsory that you have to go for all these products. You can select from your present need, and you can continually upgrade as your need demands.
All right, thank you so much. Thank you so much. Thanks. So let's unmute Chibike. Chibike is there. Once he does that. Unmute Chibike, and the people are also in the waiting room. So Chibike, are you on now?
Yeah, he's on.
Yeah, Chibike, are you on?
Yes, can you hear me now?
Yes, we can hear you. So we were trying to reach you earlier that maybe for about 1 minute plus, tell us one or two things you would want to say, especially with regards to customer experience.
Okay, one experience I want to share is that the way we reach has dynamically become new and changed, and it is no longer one thing fits it all. It's a thing of strategy and execution, and we have to execute fantastically. Now, data is the tool that enables us to execute. Now, if we want to drive a marketing campaign that we want it to reach the Nigeria, and we want it to, there's a background noise somewhere. Somebody needs to mute himself.
Can you mute every other person?
So, and we want it to go around. We want to identify.
Okay, go on.
Yeah, it's better now. So we need to adapt technologies. Like we have what we call the DSP, the demand side platform. It's a very rich platform that helps businesses to build this audience, to identify the channels where those customers are, to build even the creative that you can use to deliver your advertising. Push your advert, see who has interacted with those adverts, what channels did they interact with, and then you increase your reach. You have access to all the platforms and all the mobile phones across the internet. Like in Dutchess, we have access to about, please, this noise is still happening.
Can you mute everybody, please?
Somebody needs to mute. Okay, better. So we need to understand that with a demand side platform, you can execute programmatically. And programmatic has come to be the future of advertising, Programmatic goes into video, it goes into native, it goes into PR,